So I've made a number of videos talking about salt and possible deficiencies of sodium. And I've also talked about mineral balance with potassium, magnesium, and sodium, and how your body needs a balance of minerals rather than um, more of one or less of another. There's a lot of articles out there, a lot of information, a lot of people claiming that salt is an amazing cure and this and that. And I have a video called the Salt Cure, I believe. Now, there's a lot more to this than just salt is good or salt is bad. So essentially, you want to have sodium and potassium at a healthy ratio. Okay? It is important for water balance and fluid balance in the body. Water without salt is dehydration. Salt without water is dehydration. They must be consumed together. A low salt diet is dangerous. I will admit that a lot of people probably do need more salt in their diet, mainly because if you switch from a processed foods diet to a healthy whole foods diet, you're hardly getting any sodium in your diet anymore. Because most of the sodium intake for the average person in society comes from processed foods and especially fast foods. But when you eat a healthy whole foods diet, especially if it's plant based, you're hardly getting any sodium at all, and you're going to get a lot more potassium. And too much potassium and not enough sodium is dangerous. Salt deficiency is dangerous. So, what do you do then? Well, the best thing is to get a balance of salt. It's a good idea to consume anywhere from 2 to 5 grams of sodium per day. Okay? Anything above that is probably not a good thing. So sprinkling a little bit of salt, especially Himalayan pink salt or a natural salt, on your food isn't a bad thing. But eating a lot of salty sauces and condiments, probably not the best thing. That's probably what you want to avoid. But sprinkling a little bit of salt here and there is not going to kill you. In fact, it might benefit your health. Just make sure that you're not getting any sodium from any other sources like condiments, or processed foods or any kind of meats that you might be eating. Be sure to at least be mindful of your sodium intake. Don't obsess over it, but don't just go happy go lucky and put a shit ton of salt. Also, make sure you get plenty of potassium in your diet and magnesium as well. A really good source of potassium and magnesium are carrots and potatoes. But there are many others like leafy green vegetables and even bananas. So, and avocados and tomatoes. Those are all great sources of all sorts of minerals, especially potassium and magnesium. So go easy on the salt, but also use salt when you want it, especially if you have a craving for it, especially if you've been sweating a whole lot. And if you have cramps, make sure that you eat a little extra sodium, and that should usually help cramps go away. Just be sure to be drinking a lot of filtered, purified water or spring water. And stay away from alkaline water. That shit's horrible for you. And if you're on any kind of medication, especially blood pressure medication or diuretics, that's going to interfere with your body's mineral balance. You should talk to your doctor about it, but a lot of times doctors they but yeah, talk to your doctor about it, and just be aware that a lot of doctors will kind of, let's just say, misinform people. My Uncle Larry was having cramps from the diuretic medication his doctors were giving him, and they told him that his cramps were an elbow macaroni allergy, and that he could eat spaghetti noodles but couldn't eat elbow macaroni, because mysteriously every single time he ate elbow macaroni he had cramps. Little did my Uncle Larry know, it's probably because his body is low on sodium and minerals, because he's taking diuretics, and diuretics cause you to pee all your minerals and water out. So with all that mineral loss and fluid loss, his bones will deteriorate, he'll get muscle cramps, and feel horrible. So keep that in mind. A lot of medications can interfere with this. Again, talk to your doctor about this and do your own research. Just be sure that you get a good balance of minerals and don't overdo it on the salt, but also don't unnecessarily limit yourself from salt.